tomorrow we drive to Duke. And there are so many feelings and fears and all of the feelings.
So you gotta breathe, let it go and let it be.
I think something strange is happening. We are driving to Joe's graduation, but it's like we know that right after graduation, then we're gonna celebrate Mother's Day, and then we're gonna drive to Duke, and then the week starts. And it's like, I think we're partially embracing the simplicity of like making jokes or singing songs about the trees or whatever, but then also feeling like this impending doom. like the reality of what we know is about to happen, but it's like the calm before the storm. So we're like joking around and stuff. But I also think that the pressure of like knowing that this week at Duke has been coming for a couple of weeks, like the pressure is like building up. And so I think our brains are like, we can't hold any more pressure inside. So, I don't know.
Yeah, I think we're just kind of living in the moment right now.
Yeah. Yeah, because you've got to. You can't just focus on like the stress ahead. You've got to live in the moment. So we're trying to live in the moment. But it does feel a little, it just feels like strange. It's kind of like when we go out to eat at a restaurant the night before I'm admitted to the hospital, where it's like, wow, all of a sudden the world keeps going like normal, but something kind of big's about to happen in our life. But anyway, it's just a mixed bag of emotions. That's what I'll say. I just opened up my Bible on my phone and realized that the next passage of scripture that I was going to read, right now I'm studying the Psalms, and the next Psalm is Psalm 57, which is so special to me and perfectly timed. Tomorrow we drive to Duke, and there are so many feelings and fears and all of the feelings. But I opened up my Bible app and I remembered the next one is Psalm 57, and my mind went, oh my gosh, what perfect timing. Psalm 57 says, I cry out to God Most High, to God who fulfills his purposes for me. And that psalm, that passage in my Bible, the page is completely wrinkly in my physical Bible, obviously not my Bible app on my phone. But it was the summer before I went to college, so 12 years ago. And I was on a mission trip with my youth group. I was supposed to be a teacher for a group of kids, and I was on IVs at the time, and something went wrong with my IV. Long story short, I had to stay back, and I couldn't go teach like I was supposed to. And I remember later that day, or maybe the next day, I was sitting on the beach and I had my Bible and I was reading that psalm, and I was thinking, I was supposed to be a teacher. I prepared for this. I was ready for the job that I was supposed to do. And I read that psalm and it said, I cry out to God who fulfills his purposes for me. And it was this amazingly comforting reminder that God is going to fulfill his purposes for me. And it's probably going to look different than I thought. I thought I was supposed to go and be a teacher and do the job. And in fact, I was learning a lot about waiting on the Lord and being content with doing what I was able to do. And so today, as I'm opening up Psalm 57, I'm going to remind myself of that exact truth that I learned a dozen years ago and still holds true today. That no, we don't know the outcome of our trip to Duke. We don't know what my body is going to, the test results of all the tests that they're about to do. We don't know timing. We don't know. But God will fulfill his purposes for us. And so we're going to keep on sharing and bringing you guys on this journey with us and reminding you that God is with us and he will fulfill his purposes. Peter just got home. So guess what psalm I'm on today?
What psalm?
57.
57. Wow.
Isn't
Psalm
that cool?
57 is... Wow, that is so cool.
Was that the one that was open in Scotland too?
That was the one that you were reading, that psalm, the morning.
I didn't tell him this.
Okay.
I told him about the original Psalm 57 that, the original time I, read it at Myrtle Beach when I was,
oh, wow.
couldn't teach. But you should tell him I forgot about this one.
Yeah, so the morning that we were leaving
gosh.
Scotland. That is crazy.
Which was because of my health.
Yeah, because of Mary's health, we were leaving Scotland, and we were flying out that day for Mary to be admitted in Boston. And there were a lot of tears because we didn't know if Mary would come back to our apartment there in Scotland. And I remember her.
And I never did go back.
Yeah, she never did. And I remember her reading Psalm 57 there on the couch, and then
on that wrinkly page Bible. And
then we packed we threw stuff in our suitcases. We went to Scotland.
No.
We went to Maryland. We went not Maryland. We went to. She was admitted in Boston, and then she was there for a month before she was discharged from the hospital. I flew back to Scotland and spent a month there finishing up my studies. And when I got back to the apartment, there on the couch was her Bible open to Psalm 57 and a few empty misties. And I remember just that being an overwhelming moment for me when I saw that there on the couch, and remembered we didn't know what that would look like. And we just didn't know, but to rest in that truth was really comforting in that moment. So that is so cool.